So yet another heartbreak for India. Means this is the third consecutive time that India women have lost against the South African women team, and it might prove crucial for India because upcoming two matches will be paramount for India in the context of staying in the tournament. They face Australia next on 12th October, and followed by England. Trisha, what a knock by Nadine de Klerk in South Africa when Laura Woolworth was out. The score was 142 for 6, and they were staring down the barrel. But then that partnership between Chloe Tryon and Nadine de Klerk, and eventually Nadine de Klerk in that 18 in that 48 over, means hitting two sixes of Kranti Gaur. Outstanding hitting, means simply outstanding hitting, and South Africa winning the match by 3 wickets with 7 balls remaining. Your initial thoughts on Nadine de Klerk's knock?
I'm shocked to say anything. It's not like she has never played an innings like that. That would be a lie, Devashish. But the situation of the match was very different. Chloe Tryon was clearly struggling when Laura Goulbard got out. Chloe wasn't really getting the ball onto the bat. She was not playing her strokes. She was not finding the gaps. And in comes Nadine de Klerk and suddenly changes the complete, flow of the game. Suddenly, the pitch appears to be the easiest. Indians start complaining about the ball, and suddenly the dew starts affecting more. So, overall, I think Nadine de Klerk actually took Indian bowlers for a complete ride. What an innings and what sixes! Snehashish and I were just discussing, Devashi, is that each of the sixes have landed way inside, more closer to the crowd. So it's not like they were just sixes; they were colossal sixes. So I think the power hitting by Nadine de Klerk has left a good and a bad sentiment here. Good because you want the women's game to have more such innings because that's proper exhibition of the game. But at the same time, it's bad because India have lost two extremely crucial points.
Yeah, Trisha, and you feel disappointed when you see that such a wonderful knock from Richa goes go gone wasted. Means obviously what an unbelievable knock we saw from Richa, 94 of 77 balls, and then when India took those early 2 wickets, couple of wickets at the start, we felt like, come on now, India have it in them to win this match. But who would have thought that on that knock from Nadine de Klerk? Trisha, where did India go wrong? Means if you have to analyze where India went wrong, what according to you is the main three reasons?
I think main first reason would be strike rotation. I was saying this even in the mid show, right? That if the game becomes close, then you are going to rue the fact that you did not take so many twos, you did not convert singles into twos. You could clearly see the way South Africa was running. Even when Chloe Tryon was cramping up, she was running for the short singles. Laura Woolworth and Chloe Tryon were running the short singles. We were never running short singles. We were not converting the singles into twos. Another six, seven, 10 more runs, and this could have still been our game. So that's one huge thing. I think number two, see, the fielding definitely was a little better, but towards the end, when it started mattering the most, I think there we faltered. Uh, Pratika dropped Marizane cap. Smriti dropped a catch. Pratika did not go for a catch. So overall, I think these problems are still, there. And once Kranti was put under pressure, the ball was also wet, so it was not easy to grip the ball. That was another problem where I think the over that Deepti bowled, I was continuously saying, had there been no dew and had it been easier to handle the ball, you know, then you would have seen a lot of Yorkers from Deepti, which she was not able to bowl because you are not able to grip it properly. So I think dew is another factor, and that is why when you're batting first, 270 is an absolute must in a pitch like this because there was nothing in the pitch. There was nothing in the pitch, absolutely. So that is where I do think that India has to do better with the bat. Again, the same thing, the top order has to perform. You might, of course, say that, Devashish, you can, of course, counter saying that South Africa's top order also did not do great. But Woolward stayed and fought for a 70. None of our batters fought for those many runs. Then finishing act, you can somewhere equate Nadine de Klerk and Richa Ghosh's innings. Chloe Tran chipping in as Sneh Rana and what, Amanjot did. But that 70 of Laura Woolward became very, very crucial, which we could not give. None of our top order batters fought hard and got those runs.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, Trisha, you were spot on. But do you reckon, at the hindsight, India could have played Renuka Thakur? Do you reckon?
Absolutely. I think, we have been talking about this, that if you have five bowlers, the danger of having five bowlers is if one of your bowlers is going for runs, you have nowhere to, you cannot hide them. So Charani in the first over got hit for two sixes. Thankfully, she came back, but Amanjot wasn't. And secondly, if Amanjot is not going to bowl her full quota of overs, then she's not your wicket taking strike bowler. You
Right.
need another wicket taking strike bowler alongside Krantigor. You cannot be having Amanjot who's going to bowl 3 or 4 overs and then you go to spinners. Then start off with spinners, have an extra spinner, but at least have more wicket taking bowlers. Renuka here in this pitch, I think Laura Woolward would have had a tough time facing Renuka, the in swinger going. It would have been difficult. And Laura Woolward's, if you take that 70 away, then it becomes far more difficult. So small things, but yes, in India, in flat surfaces, you cannot go in with five bowlers.
But let's not be harsh on Kranti Gaur. Obviously, that brilliant
Absolutely
one-handed
not.
catch, that was a stunner to get to dismiss Tajmin breaks. That was simply a stunner. But you have to, I mean, she has only made her debut 5 months back, and she was the player of the match in the last match against Pakistan. So. Yeah, it is a bit harsh if we blame Kranti Gaur. I think somewhere India needed that support, which she did not get. I think that is where India went wrong. But Trisha, looking forward, do you reckon that uh, where did India? What does India need to do from here on? Obviously, it is going to be an uphill task, especially against the likes of Australia and England. But in England, we have won the series against England in not in recent past. So, against Australia, what would be India's strategy? Because we are playing in the same venue.
I think if you bat first, ideally India would want to win the toss and chase because the dew is definitely going to be an advantage in the second innings. And talking about Kranti, to be very honest, Kranti cannot be blamed at all. Kranti did her best in every single way possible. Towards the end, Nadine de Klerk went after every single bowler, and Kranti has the pace, so it's easier for Nadine de Klerk to go after her. Sorry, it's easier for Nadine de Klerk to go after her. But I thought the spinners weren't good enough, and that needs to change. Sneh Rana has to start landing the balls. That's one. The other big thing that needs to change is the top order has to fire. You cannot have your 6, 7, 8 firing, but today, in fact, Sneh Rana came at 9. So your 7, 8, 9 scored. Your top six has nothing to show as an effort. And against a team like South Africa, you have still, you dismissed their top order, so you took it somewhere close towards the end. With Australia, we have seen they were 74 for 6, and from there, 221. So Australia has batters till number, Alana King scored a 51, who comes at number 10. So they have batters here. Ayabonga Khaka wasn't a good batter. So when they were 7 down, in fact, I was like, we have closed in the game. Now that Tryon is gone.
And
That
in
is
fact,
when,
Ayabonga Khaka took a single which shouldn't have taken, shouldn't have been
absolutely.
given that single. And
That's the
if
correct
you
point.
talk about Nadine's knock, she was quite matured enough. She was purposefully hitting the first few deliveries of each over, and then
Yes.
rotating the strike, taking a single. And that single, I think it was the penultimate over, because
Yes, yes.
Khaka. So, do you think that this is where the India lacked that maturity?
Absolutely, you have hit the nail on the head. I said this in the mid innings that Richa played a matured knock, but apart from Richa, nobody showed that maturity. Snehan, of course, played a supportive role. Amanjot played a supportive role, but I'll go back again and say your top six, one person at least has to go on to score a 50 at least. You know, nobody has a 50 in the top few in 3 matches. And that is a huge concern. Richa has been performing, yes. Deepthi has been performing, yes. But what about the top five? Nobody in top five has got a 50, and Woolworth is out of form. You could see that Woolworth was really struggling, but she did not give up. She took the game long. She took the game as much as she could drag the game. That is where I think India needs to learn this maturity. Today, of course, Richa showed a lot of maturity. And I would say I consider myself lucky that I think today, Debashish, I have seen two of the best knocks in ODIs.
Absolutely. Absolutely, and especially both the knocks and the power hitting we witnessed means
Oh,
the unbelievable power hitting from Risha Ghosh and
and the exhibition of the game, to be honest, the exhibition of the game, oh, it is so brilliant. The way the two batters, showed that you can take your time, settle in, and go for your shots. Was what? Sorry, the ambulance is going out, and I don't know why
no,
it's
it's all
honking.
right,
I think the
all right,
gate is
no
not
problem.
open. Yeah. So basically, as I was saying, I think it was a right mixture of power hitting with staying on the crease and taking this to the end. Something that we have seen someone of the like of Mithali doing during chases. She has always been dangerous during chases because she takes the game long. And today, Nadine de Klerk, Chloe Tryon both took the game long. Even in the first innings, Richa did not go for her shots immediately. I'm sure she could have gone for a few shots, but she waited. She took the game long. 43rd over, 44th over, 45th over, and that is when they start attacking. So I think two extremely matured, power hitting, um, fantastic innings. I think, as I said, two of the best ODI innings of women's cricket have been uh, witnessed here by the crowd. And it was sensation. By the way, it was sensational to see the amount of people still there towards the end. Because it's quite late. The matches finish, it's 11:45. It's quite late. But there was so much cheering for the team. There was so much backing the team. They were appealing with the team. And at one point, they were screaming Amanjot, Amanjot in the last over to, just get her motivated. So I think brilliant crowd, both in Guwahati and in Vizag, Debashish. Colombo was disappointing.
Right. Trisha, if we look back at Chloe Tryon's knock, means obviously it was a superb review. Means we have to accept, means obviously Sneh Rana
True.
actually she stepped a few yards and then she got, and it was a superb review, and still South Africa needed 41 from 25 balls. Means obviously
Yes.
it was still in our hands. Means but then. Your thoughts on that review means obviously Sneh and because
That
Chloe Tryon
review,
and
by the way, that review, by the way, was actually forced by Richa because none of them were sure to go for the review. Richa told them that go for the review. You have one review left, and this is your most important wicket. And where she has played, I could clearly see her leg stump. So if I can see her leg stump, it means it's crushing onto the stumps. Let's go for the review. So that is what Gamsharaz I got from the from what we saw there. That Richa was insistent on the review, and what a good review! What a brilliant review! Because when they went for the review, I was thinking if it's that about 2.3 meter mark because because Chloe Tryon was quite down the down the pitch, then we would have lost the review, the only review left. But I think superb judgment from Richa, which shows how a good innings can actually influence. Because last game, I remember she was very unsure of most DRS, you know. But this game, now with a fantastic innings behind her, she has become more aware of the game. She has started understanding the game better because you're calm in your head. You know, even keeping wise, if you look at it, Richa was a tad bit better.
Yeah, and talking about Richard, how serious is her injury? Because she looked to be suffering from a fluke. Oh, you reckon that that was part of a strategy to
They were just wasting
unsettle
time. They
the
were just,
momentum that
yeah,
Nadine de Klerk
yes,
had?
yes,
Oh,
yes, yes.
okay.
And Nadine de Klerk clearly understood that because she was very unhappy. Umpires were laughing, but at the same time, unfortunately, it's a cramp. You cannot prove that the wicketkeeper does not have a cramp. So she laid there with her leg up, and we were all having a laugh at the press box. It's not at all anything serious. It was just a case of slowing things down, which is I would say a great strategy. If it had worked in our favor, it would have been great. But yes, I think it was a great strategy to stop the game there because the game could have ended in that over itself. Three more balls were left, and she could have gone for three sixes. She was in that kind of a rhythm. But Richa pulled out a good Oscar-winning performance. You know.
That's well said. But lastly, Trisha, means I won't delay further because it's
But
almost time.
I have actually something to add. I want to
Yeah,
say
please,
something.
please
I have,
go ahead. Please go
yeah,
ahead.
because I have always marked small. I look at small moments, you know, in a game. And when Richa was doing this Oscar-winning acting as we speak, the, Harmanpreet Kaur, Smriti Mandana, and Renuka, all three came up to Kranti Kaur. And in a beautiful moment, Harmanpreet Kaur actually he patted Kranti in the back and gave her a hug and was like, "It's just fine, buddy. You're doing well." So Radha Yadav also came up, and all of them were continuously patting her. You know, just telling her, it's fine. You're doing perfectly fine." On the other hand, Arundhati actually ran to Sneh Rana because Sneh Rana was a little upset because she was not landing the ball. And you could see that she's also patting her and saying, "It's okay, the match isn't over. Let's keep playing. Let's keep trying." This is something that you want, your team backing each other up. Yes, there will be difficult moments. Yes, the team will lose. But if I'm being extremely honest, one of the best leadership moments or one of the rarest leadership moments that I've seen in Harmanpreet Kaur's captaincy. You know, because I have never rated her as a leader, and there are reasons for it. Nothing personal, but she has given enough reasons. But today, what she did, extremely matured, extremely leader-like from her. Fantastic.
Yeah, that's a great compliment from Trisha. But more than her leadership, India needs Harmanpreet the
Her
batter. Means
runs,
obviously
yes,
with with
absolutely,
games coming up against Australia and England, you need your two top batters and also Jemima, the top three. In fact, Jemima, Harmanpreet, and Shriti to score some runs. Means obviously, and also India need to show some intent. Uh,
Uh,
uh, those are
actually.
your fellow.
Yes, they are my friends from broadcast graphics. When I was
Okay,
a
okay.
graphics operator, they were
So,
there. So
so
yeah.
I was just
Yeah.
mentioning that in India need to yet see some runs being scored from their captain and Sriti Mandana, Jemima Rodriguez, and the like. So, your thoughts, Trisha, because
Absolutely.
very crucial. And you said and you reiterated the point that India needs to bat first and post. India would rather prefer chasing total than posting total.
Yes, because see, all the three matches India has batted first, and clearly their batting is not, at least the top order is not working. So maybe if India chases first, first of all, in this ground, the dew will set in and the pitch will become a little faster. So that could be a help. The other part, which I do think, is when you're chasing a target, like you know how Chloe Tryon built her innings, how Nadine de Klerk built her innings. It becomes a little easier when you're out of form if you have building your innings, building your innings. Because it becomes easier if you have a target there that in this many balls this is the run rate we need, one risk per over, and then we can take singles. So these are the things which could help the Indian top order getting back to form. But in short, they have to score runs, and that is the long and short of it. Whether they bat first, bat second, you cannot have 40s, 30s, and that's about it. You have to have those big 70, 80, 100 for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. You need your top order to post a decent score. Means someone like that. What Laura Woolworth showed today, scoring at 70 odd runs. Trisha, with couple of days before that all important game against Australia,
Yeah.
what does India needs to do? Rather, what does India needs to do to regroup themselves? Because it is a very means a morale
Short turnaround. Yes,
shattering defeat.
absolutely.
So, uh, uh, do you reckon that Indian team has it in them? This team does have the character to bounce back after this shocking defeat? Because it two very important matches coming up if India are
Yes.
to that semi final.
If see, India does have it in them to be to bounce back, but your next opponent is Australia, so it is going to be tough for them to bounce back. Or against Australia, for everyone, it is tough to come back, and India will need to bat way better. India will need to, in short, perform way better in every single field to uh, sorry. Yeah. What was I saying? Sorry. Yeah. In every single department, I think India needs to up their game by at least 10 to 20% to give Australia a close run, because you don't want to concede a huge NRR in the Australian game. And if you can defeat Australia from here on, then I think your campaign is right on the money. So the next two games will define a lot of things for India, because it's Australia first and England. Snehashish and I were continuously saying that against South Africa and New Zealand are your two matches that out of these four that you would want to win, and one of that you have already lost. So by the time you probably are playing the New Zealand game, you could well be out of the competition, because if you have lost the next two games. So I think India needs to handle the pressure. This is where we will understand, Devashish, if the mindset has changed, if the mindset has been worked on, that important moments, crucial matches, pressure situation, can India stand up? Nadine de Klerk's innings is somewhere a little better than Richard's innings because of the pressure of the chase. Richard did not have the pressure of the chase. Richard did not have, I'm sure they had a 250 target in mind, but it's not like she would have lost something had she not scored 250. With Nadine de Klerk, it was different. As you said, even when Chloe Tryon got out, they had to get 41 of 24, and there was no other batters in the next three who could have contributed even good 10 runs. So I think that is where Nadine de Klerk showed that maturity, and this is the kind of moments that India needs to seize.
On that note, means let's hope that India pull up their socks because very crucial match coming up against Australia on 12th of October. Trisha and Snehasis will send us the postmortem as to where did India go wrong. Until then, this is me, Devashish, signing out along with Trisha Ghoshal all the way from Vizag, and obviously Snehasis is there for the press conference. We'll get all the updates from the press conference very soon. So that's it for now. Keep watching Rep Sports Global to get all the updates from the world of sports.